both right here if they wanted to.
Oh, hovering over some of the options right now. They do need both solo lanes unless Nautilus goes somewhere a bit unorthodox. Viktor
there it is.
Locked in for number one.
I think that's the first victory we've seen at Worlds.
NGP.
I think Mammoth's mid laner triple might have played it. I don't know for sure.
Someone asked me this the other day, and they said, do you think Viktor's going to be seeing play? And I think at some point, but it's not going to be very likely. I would have preferred to see a Rise here, but I can understand maybe if Rainbow has more comfort.
And both of them fill a similar role, I think, in this composition. If TheShy goes towards an AD champion or Rookie in the same vein, then it could be that kind of hybrid tank Viktor that we see. However, there is going to be some balance given to this comp. Orianna for Rookie has so far been a very good pick.
Has been very strong. His second Orianna game, of course, won the last one he played it around, and we'll see now. I'm not going to see any more swaps. That Ori's mid, that Viktor's staying where it is, and everything else. So this is going to be the most standard bottom laners here. Xayah versus Kaisa, no surprises. The Viktor, a rare sight. Gragas, you know, of course we expect to see him, but Ning on the Olaf. That's the real trump card here. That's going to be the spicy part. Ning back in the lineup for the first time since August. Can he pull out the win here?
Yeah, that actually is the first Viktor. I just got confirmation. That's the 93rd unique pick or ban we've had since the World Championship started.
Yeah, it certainly has been a wide open World Championship in terms of what is being played, but I want to focus in on IG's comp because we keep mentioning the Olaf. And Olaf with pushing lanes is one of the most oppressive junglers. Jayce to Gangplank is a good matchup for the Jayce. You should be able to get shoved against Viktor. He kind of sucks before the first purchase. And then when you have a look at the range support into melee, this could be Ning's field day in his return to Summoner's Rift.
And I think they're trying to set him up for success. If we look at IG's early game in week 1 or even in the summer split, it was subpar. And that's completely different than the world champion IG we saw in 2018. So it looks like they're trying to return to that form.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Tournament lives are on the line. AHQ, the last remaining squad from the LMS, up against elimination. 0-4 is not a start that can make it to the quarterfinals anymore. They must pick up this win. Invictus Gaming back to their old starting jungler in Ning. They benched him ever since their first round defeat in the LPL playoffs. They put him back in, say today he's going to bring us to victory.
And as we do enter a pause, I do just want to draw people's attention to the top lane keystone. Because whilst TheShy tried to stave off any comparison to Nuguri coming into the World Championship, he does pick himself up a Kleptomancy Jayce.
Instead of the phase rush Jayce that you may see sometimes against the GP if he wants to be able to go in and out of fights, can't completely fault him for it, though. Sometimes you get a lot of lane sustain out of the Kleptomancy, which I think is one of the most underrated parts of the Keystone.
And the way we've seen Gangplank force on this matchup is heavy trading and then threatening that gank that will come through from probably a superior ganking jungler, I think it's fair to say, in that Gragas. So TheShy knows he's going to be trading heavily, needs to have extra tools to be able to pick that sustain up. A couple of other interesting Keystones as well. We're going to have a spellbook on Viktor in the mid lane, which is a little bit strange, but I think does lend itself to some better team fight options. He will have to be able to teleport back to lane. That's kind of how Viktor's kit works. He needs that gold early. But then being able to swap over to things like the Cleanse and the Ghost for team fights could be pretty useful.
Definitely could be. We know that it was Rookie who paused. We're waiting to see what the cause of that one is, but we'll get that to you once we get the information out of this one. This means we get to wait a little bit longer. That anticipation building up to wait to see who could take this one down. I'm definitely excited to see how this one does pan out. Again, we talk about the last time these teams met. Neck and neck, AHQ had some leads, IG had some leads, but up until about 23 minutes, a very tight game.
Yeah, and focusing in on what we'd expect from this early game, IG is looking to blow them out.
Yes.
We've already mentioned multiple times that the early game was in favor of AHQ the first time around, so I can't completely fault AHQ for picking a little bit more scaling, specifically with the Spellbook Viktor over something like an Airy Viktor to at least have a little bit of fighting power in lane.
Yeah.
Because Rookie's Orianna can steamroll that matchup. a Jayce can also get very aggressive early, not to mention having a Xayah in the bottom lane. It actually is 3 better early game champions and an Olaf. So if this game does actually get to 15 or 20 minutes even, that would be bad news for IG.
Well, we got a note on Rookie. He said it was a mouse issue, something to do with sensitivity. We are now getting ready checks, though, from the players, so that might have been sorted out. Might be going into the game very shortly.
Yeah, and I think that when you have a look at how AHQ have been able to have a couple of successful early games, a lot of it has been around Rainbow and Alex. So having that spellbook Viktor, something that doesn't really lend itself to ganks all that much, is very interesting for me. I want to see how Alex now attacks this early game and whether he has another avenue to play around.
All right, early sweeper. Going to share the XP. That should help the soul lanes a little bit there. 10 gold apiece.
Not only that, you just get level 2 off the first wave, which seems to be a pretty big deal for mid laners. I know that they yell at each other in scrims to try and get that one over as quickly as possible. So I think that that's interesting because what I've seen from Rookie that makes me think he's back in form is his ability to leave lane if he doesn't feel like he can get that solo kill. And we saw it against TL when he was playing this Orianna into Jensen's Akali. His ability to shove, roam, impact bottom lane on something as simple as the Orianna was certainly a very key fact in that victory.
All right, well, early inning has begun. Rookie already playing pretty aggressively. Ziv in a fight with TheShy at the very beginning of this one. Trading a little back and forth. Of course, Grasp, not bad for this one. TheShy forced to run away, but they're going to have another Q, more damage. Ziv won't keep the chase going. Nice. That juke in the shock box helps a lot with keeping the landing phase going well.
Yeah, Ziv didn't want to chase through the minions right there, but that's always what GPs look to do, is wait in that brush to get the early trade. So I'm a little surprised TheShy did decide to run right through there rather than going the safe route. On the bright side, he probably got a little bit of Kleptomancy gold, but it cost him with his health bar.
And the reason that's very interesting to me is Hook lands.
Yeah, Black Shield's still on cooldown, of course. Nice couple of trades right there. Early health lead goes to Wako.
Yeah, really nicely played there. But what I was going to mention is the fact that TheShy does seem to have a ward on the blue buff. So he knows right now that Alex is pathing down. That makes me think that playing as aggressively as Ziv was, burning through potions, isn't necessarily great unless he can get that wave into turret, because could open him up to Ning's ganks on this first clear.
And I'm going to be tracking how Ning synergizes with the solo lanes, because one of the big reasons it was rumored that Ning wasn't playing anymore is just his synergy with either Rookie or TheShy and how out of sync the team ended up being. All the lanes wanted to play aggressive all the time, but Ning also wanted to get his too, and it just didn't work, which is potentially why getting in a 17-year-old jungler like Leyan was beneficial to the team, because they could kind of dictate where he pats. Ning's not that type of player usually, so I want to see if he ends up actually camping for TheShy, for instance, in this game.
Well, turbo clear right now for the Olaf. 4 camps in, doing Krug. Sorry, 5 camps in. Krug's number 6. As right now, Alex is down to this bottom river, but not going to find a gank for himself. A full 3 camps behind the opposing jungler. So Ning, with you know, kind of what you expect with Olaf. Don't get me wrong. This is a little bit par for the course, but going to remain up those camps, and you might see him poach a couple of these up here.
And he might even invade, because that's actually a Ghost Poro that got left behind off of the early ward they had on the blue buff. So actually skips the Scuttle Crab and the blue buff to take a look up here. And the sweep, too, because it was actually uncanny how Ziv backed away right there. Absolutely no vision, really just playing the timings.
I think what would have given that away is the fact that bottom is seeding so much in a Morgana lane. They're not actually fighting for the priority at all. They're not dropping the W on the creep wave and trying to push out. So Ziv knows that he's the one lane under threat right now. So playing respectfully, playing the matchup appropriately, and looking for the vision.
They can collapse on him here.
He hits the... Oh. That's... You call that unlucky sometimes, but that is the Grump gone, and out he goes.
And this is exactly how we expect Ning to play. That is not a high percentage play. His top lane is frozen. He has no support coming in from that mid lane as well, but he still goes for it. Now sitting on a ward, he's giving so much attention to TheShy's lane right now.
But he had already swept that brush before to make sure it was clear. Overall, it ends up being completely fine for Ning, but as you mentioned, Spawn, already a few touch-and-go plays.
Tight timing there. Overall, though, still is a camp lead. You can see 25-32 in CS. That is the early start here for Ning, and as the camps respawn, that Gromp is up, and he'll start getting some more.
And look at that CS. So yes, there's 7 CS that Viktor can clean right now for a lot of his health pool. He's going to end up missing probably at least 1 range minion of this. He's already down a teleport to Rookie. Rookie is absolutely dominating this lane, and it gets even worse for Viktor early because you need 1,150 gold before getting your first augment upgrade. And whenever you've had to take an early recall on Viktor to go for a Doran's, you usually know the lane's not going that well.
and he had to play aggressive. Hold the thought.
Get it now. That's going to find the stun on the Rookie. Body slam's a guarantee. The slow comes on top now as well, and Rookie not going to burn the summoner spells. He'll drop down. First blood to the Gragas, and now Ning in a 1v2 is going to chase the Gragas back to his own turret.
Well, that was definitely a caster curse, if I've ever had one. Rookie trying to dominate the lane. I've been there where you try and heal out of the gravity field for the move speed, but miscalculating the stun duration by a fraction. If Rookie flashes early, he's probably away, but he thought the heal would be enough to get out of the gravity field.
And a lot of the focus is going to be on the jungler in this matchup, just because this is Ning's return. And I feel like this is Ning's bad on not shadowing the lane hard enough. That freeze was set up so obviously from Rainbow. You know that Rookie is going to want to get that lane into turret, because otherwise he's going to be denied gold, he's going to be denied experience. Ning should be there first. That's a mistake.
And you can almost imagine if Rookie just moved towards Ning, they probably win that 2v2. But the lack of synergy between them has him running away from his jungler as well. So not only could Ning have been closer, Rookie could have just flashed towards him.
Yeah, or even hug the right side of the lane. All those would have been options. And either way, we look back at the state of this game in the bottom lane, and it's about equal in CS, more for JackeyLove to pick up, and farm going pretty close to equal. And as the wars get cleared out, Ning, and it's so frustrating. Yeah, I'll just fight it. Running from an Ocean Drake really sucks because it slows you. It's the one Drake that does that, but it's Olaf. You can solo that forever.
This is what priority gives you. This is what the ability to push allows you to do as a jungler. Being able to pull over your support early. You can see already Rookie cheating into that fog of war. However, Ning is very low. This could be a fight.
Oh, this could be a smite fight at the very least. Here comes the attack on in. Shotgun hits only onto one. That's forced the flash out of Ning. Baolan over the wall now as well, but Wako's going to burn down, and Ysera can't find the damage. Flash to chase, can't get the kill. So it's Rainbow's turn to do that instead, and finally does knock down Ning. Drake resets. Fight might still continue as Baolan over the wall finds the root. Rookie, though, without an ultimate's not going to find a lot of burst damage there, so instead you turn back to the Drake and you pick up this kill.
And the question we had coming into today was Ning subbing in a good sign or a bad sign for IG? The read off the first 7 minutes is not great, because we haven't necessarily seen synergy with Rookie. We saw an incredibly high-risk Ocean Drake right there, pulling it in vision of a control ward and going down to 25% health. So by the time AHQ does collapse in, Ning can't be involved in this fight. So it gives AHQ an immediate numbers advantage. Yes, Rookie is able to trade back one kill, but it's an early Ocean Drake over to AHQ.
And I think the aggression here from Rainbow saved this play. If that had have just been one kill for an Ocean Drake, you can argue worthwhile because of how much work they were getting done, denying experience bottom lane, mid lane, and the continued shove on the top side of the map. But because now this Viktor has been able to get that injection of gold, his laning phase should look much healthier now. I think that is a positive play for the AHQ lineup.
Other side of the map, though, we just looked at top lane. Invictus Gaming up in gold despite being down in kills, and a lot of that is 16 CS with Kleptomancy for TheShy. Just knocked down a turret plate as well. You can see richest man in the game without being involved in any kills, but he is just pushing Ziv around.
And he needs to wait for Ning now. You already see he takes a very proactive trade. Everyone is rotating into this top side of the jungle. They should be able to deny this wave all the experience. Ziv's still sticking around. This is very strange.
Could be 3v1 dive. No ulti, I believe, available for Ziv right now to wave clear. TheShy pushing up forward. Here comes the attempted dive, though. Big explosion, and it's just going to be the kill. No problem. A shield from Rookie guarantees it. No way out from that one.
And sometimes greed is good, but a lot of the time, greed is bad. And that time around, I feel like Ziv knows he's playing weak side at the moment.
Yeah.
Just overstays his welcome.
Yeah, but with every time you roam a top laner up like that, or a mid laner up like that, HQ can try and make a play on the bottom side.
Push him off the turret at the very least. It's at least farm denied, and as much farm denied as Ziv is losing, but of course the kill matters, don't get me wrong. 2 plates down to the bottom lane.
Yeah, that's what you would have wanted to see Ziv do, is just back off and give up a plate, because it's 300 less gold that you'd be able to concede, and now JackeyLove and Baolan are still able to get the experience.
Not even that. Let's look at where JackeyLove and Baolan are, and look at where Ziv still is running back to the turret. It's just extra time that you're able to save, getting back towards the wave. That's why these things are so critical. It's about maximizing every piece of resource, and experience is a big piece of resource in League of Legends, versus what your opponent is able to accomplish.
You can see Ziv having to go early Ninja Tabby and the Cull to try to stem some of the bleeding here, so very late Sheen, very late Trinity Force going to come through for that player. As mid's pushed in, 1 plate down there as well, so HQ on 3 plates killed, I believe, so far.
And I gotta say, Rainbow's probably feeling pretty good about this early laning phase. When you looked at the CS early on and it was 41-18, that wouldn't have been great. But the fact that he's been able to pick up a kill and an assist, get his first augment upgrade, so now he can just wave clear pretty well. He's been gonna be feeling all right.
Rainbow's gonna hit a little bit more, but no more slows available. Burns Spellbook, Summoner, heal, and back into the lane he stays.
And potentially a big cooldown there expended from Rookie just to get a heal out, given the fact that it is 10 minutes into the game. With an Olaf, you would love to be able to take yourself something like a Rift Herald. Top lane is certainly in a position where they should be able to go towards that objective. But now without a Shockwave, it does become a little bit riskier.
And we can also see that IG is still just dominating lanes. We're being fairly critical of them because of how early game their composition is, but they're still up 1.4k gold.
They're going to find so much damage. Ysera finally burns a stopwatch, but just able to walk away. The stun buying a bit of time as well, and nearly a kill.
And that's just straight up 2v2 power.
Yeah.
And you can see that the pain isn't going to stop anytime soon. Ziv once again in trouble.
2v1. You know Nick's going to tower dive this. This 100% going to happen. Going to go for the wave clear as Ziv. Still going to take a whole lot of damage. The flash comes in late. He will at least trade the kill. 300 gold back in his pockets.
So we'll have to look at what happened there, because I think the game plan would have been TheShy to take turret aggro first, but when the final minion died, it auto-acquired onto Ning, so it wasn't about TheShy being able to wait his time and then hit him first, because normally the way you want to play that dive is wait until Ning's about in melee range, then have the Jayce auto, but watch what happens here. Ziv actually manages... No. How did the turret get onto...
He dropped...
He must have just hit it first.
Yeah. And that's like the most Ning thing ever. Like, I was sure Ning was going to pull turret aggro in that dive, and sure enough, he's the one in first. I don't know if it was with a blue smite or what, but either way, that is a kill traded back, and it's still 700 gold lead to Invictus Gaming. This is a large lead, a very substantial one, already 4 plates down to the top side. TheShy, the first one above 110 CS in this game. It's like he doesn't even have a lane opponent.
Yeah, I mean, he's just absolutely dominating at the moment. The fact that he's nearly taken the top lane turret as well just shows how much time Ziv has had to spend out of this lane. And more impressively, he's going the very greedy build. He's got himself a Phage as well as a Tear. This suggests Morgana into Black Cleaver, which is such a good dueling build in the mid game. It's not like he's even building straight up lethality into something like that Youmuu's Ghostblade.
I mean, he's doing everything. It's components of 3 different completed items. Like, it's as greedy as you could possibly get, going for the early efficiency, just maxing out the slots. But yeah, it's going to be a bunch of armor penetration, a bunch of damage up, a lot of attack damage. And TheShy's rich. He is completely smashing lane. He's doing well on CS and plates and everything else. It's going to look very good for him. Now looking down onto this bottom side as Ning again to invade in and walks away as Predator gets popped.
And this is what they need Ning to be able to do. Look at the amount of control they have over the bottom side of the jungle, and because TheShy has already been the beneficiary of so much attention, he can just sit top lane and control it himself. That means that right now, they have starved AHQ out of nearly every quadrant of the map. And this is what we want to see IG doing, playing past their waves. You know, that confidence that we saw from the 2018 World Champions looks like it is starting to return.
And basically all of IG's gold lead is concentrated on TheShy. He's 2.4 thousand gold up on Ziv in this game. It has been 2 ganks, maybe 3 sent up towards that top lane, but most of it has just been through his dominating play. Now he's taking over that entire top quadrant of the map.
And what a better player to have a lead on than TheShy. This is a guy that pushes everything to the nth degree. Can it explode into his face at times? However, you can see right now playing on that edge, zoning away topside jungle, and allowing his team to pick up a Rift Herald.
And it won't be summoned in time for extra plate money, but can still knock down the second turret of the game as Ziv just does his best to wave clear under his tier 2 turret already.
And I still think that Herald will be big in this game, because the one thing about Viktor, he's been out of the game for a long time, but his straight line wave clear means taking mid lane turret becomes an absolute pain in the bum as the game progresses. So being able to have that Herald to just drop down mid, try and take that turret, open up the map, free up things like the Baron. We already said this team comp does need to get the game finished relatively early, only going to help that objective.
Yeah, I think if IG uses that Rift Herald anywhere but mid, it'll end up being a mistake. The turret is still at about 3/4 health if we think about the mid lane, so Rainbow should be able to still keep it alive unless IG win a fight around a Drake or find a way to rotate multiple people down. And you can already see on the minimap, Jayce running down, killing the Scuttle Crab on the way, and then I wouldn't be too surprised if IG group up to try and get that mid turret.
And Ziv has ult but no TP to join the fight, so if IG does pull the trigger and attack this bottom river, grab this Cloud Drake, there's not going to be a full answer for the opposing top laner.
So I want to see how AHQ now try and problem solve this stage of the game, because we've already mentioned they do scale quite well. They are looking for those mid-game team fights. So how do you seed as little control as possible, not lose these mid and bottom lane turrets? You know, you can give away an Ocean Drake as not ideal, but it would be acceptable. Instead, they're going to look to continue to try and force.
With no TP on Ziv, they'd be looking to take this fast, because if IG actually make it in there, they'd probably win the fight.
Got about 6 seconds. They're still walking over. Ning jumps through the wall by himself, gets a black shield. Ults runs away, but his health bar is very low. Loses the flash down to this one. TheShy go for the burst. It's going to be smited, though, and AHQ managed to grab that one. No
that
casualties.
was one of those greedy plays that ended up being good for AHQ, because starting up a Cloud Drake while your top laner is top lane without TP, massively risky, but IG didn't necessarily have the coordination or the timing to be able to get there. They caught Rookie in the Shy during a reset. Ning wanted to go in, but his solo laners weren't there, and he ends up going anyway and having to flash out.
And I think that if people were wondering if the time on the bench taught Ning anything, that play right there allayed any doubts. He's still exactly the same player, willing to go over the wall, blind off just a connected bind, has to burn his flash to get back out, but still that raw aggression that we love to see.
Cloud Drake's definitely plenty good, running away from things like Orianna balls, and Olaf's pretty useful. Shockless comes in, still smited away. Alex grabs that, but now Ziv has to be careful. Not an easy way out. Shockwaved in, flashes, explosive cast, but he's burning, and a blue spike claims that kill. Invictus Gaming on their 4th kill of the game.
And another just invade into this topside jungle. You can see what those early game turret dives gave to the IG lineup. They have complete control over this side of the map.
And we'll have to just continue to track where the Shy goes and if AHQ can stop that. Still waiting for Ning to find the window to use that Rift Herald. Now would be a decent time, but again, IG's not necessarily seeming like they're that much of a team right now. It's like a bunch of lanes playing, and then they happen to have an Olaf. A more coordinated play in this instance would actually be JackeyLove running out mid lane, dropping the Rift Herald as the Jayce pushes the top lane, and getting that inner turret. Instead, it's just kind of everyone farming at once.
But at the very least, they are farming really well. 61 CS
they're still winning.
Side. Yeah. I mean, I understand your point. Yeah, IG looking very good, at least as far as the individual mechanics are concerned. Second turret goes down, all in the Shy's lane. Herald comes to back up as well. Inhibitor might be cracked sub 18 minutes.
And this was a big brain play. We said it had to be used mid to try and set up for the Baron, but maybe they just try and break the base.
Big chunk goes down there. It's going to get stunned up. They're going to try to chunk this one down, but TheShy willing to keep going in for the auto attacks. They're going to knock down that turret as well. Open inhib. 17:35 into the game. Alex here to defend. They're finally recalling the Kaisa, but until he actually comes back, it's just Ziv dying in a dive under the inhibitor. Ning is running. He's trying to get away. Just barely gets out of the Chaos Storm, and a re-engage might just happen. Ysera's at 1/3 HP now as well. In comes Wako, but doesn't have the damage, only on one item. Ysera low again, has to flap his wings and get out.
That was the most IG play I've seen. Yes, because the whole time JackeyLove still wasn't even there. He was just tracking the other waves.
The good news is they used Herald to break mid lane turret. Did they do it in a convention fashion?
No.
Absolutely not. It also broke the base, but you're right, JackeyLove was able to rotate into that mid lane. But let's take another look at this, because this is IG at 17 minutes, laying siege to a base turret, and not only that, then having a willingness to dive past the structure, past the inhibitor, and just take the fight.
Why not go for the inhib? They know it's a flashless GP. Ning sees his window and he just takes it. Rainbow doesn't use his ultimate until after Ziv is already dead, and they just take it.
If there's ever a what's your move play, it's this one where you just dive into the inhibitor itself and get kills early on. And I want to call back, because we talked about the last time these teams met and how close that game was. Gold back and forth with the first 23 or so minutes till IG finally broke it open, and it was Rookie having a very solid game. No longer the case here, right? You can see, there's the gold graph. Last time they met, oh, it was close, it was close. There's a bunch of red till 20 minutes, and then, you know, finally Baron comes up and they break it open. And then we look at the live gold difference, and it's just a sea of red. It's just a sea of Invictus Gaming completely clapping.
And I don't even think the gold graph tells the entirety of the story, because things like forward presence in this game, counter jungling stats, would all also be off this charts. Obviously, that leads to gold leads, but it has really been a dominating performance from the individuals of IG.
Yeah, you can. I think an indicator of that is the fact that they have no Drakes. They've just kind of been focusing super heavily on individual lanes. 64 CS advantage for TheShy. Still a valid way of getting an advantage and winning, and TheShy now also just making sure they have wave pressure in as many places as possible.
They're going to knock things down as the red's going to go over, no problems. You can see some split push on the top side. You know, little bits are going back. AHQ sacrificed part of their base to knock bottom outer. They're sacrificing their bottom jungle to take top outer. At least some gold's coming back in, but IG, of course, not slowing down pretty much ever. bot tier 2 could be sieged soon.
But once again, you really don't want to be trading in situations like this. You are so far ahead. I would have loved IG to go for a little bit more of a calculated play. That top lane wave is about to be eaten. All that golden experience is going to go to waste. You can see that they are still playing typical IG style. Break the rules, just siege, just try and push things down. See whether it works out.
Well, turret's on a half HP right now. Chaos Storm, though, burned. Viktor, no ultimate anymore, just for the wave clear, trying to make sure they can keep their base alive a little bit longer. Next Drake has spawned. That's Ocean. Baron, of course, on the map now as well.
Yeah. I want to take a brief moment to touch back on TheShy's build, because there's certain things I actually really like about it. So the Phage that isn't even working towards a Black Cleaver, I think is actually pretty cool, because he's still getting the movement speed from the Phage. On top of that, base Last Whisper, like pre-upgraded Last Whisper, has been buffed to be a very efficient item recently. It's 20% armor penetration and 20 AD for not that much gold. So comboing that with a lethality item from the Ghostblade and soon to be a Transform Romana, that's actually a very big power spike he's going to be able to hit.
Yeah, mathematically, base Last Whisper is a serrated Dirk against like 60 armor and more, which, by the way, every champion has in League of Legends. So even like a air quotes lethality build likes base Last Whisper.
Yeah, we see a lot of Jayce's just stack serrated Dirk items. I think this is better.
Yeah, I think mathematically it's actually the case, because also multiplicative armor pen comes in first. There's a bunch more math. We'll stop now before everyone falls asleep.
My people. That's all I'm going to say. My people. It's so nice to actually sit down and be able to do the numbers on stuff like that. However, I think more importantly, the fact that he's got an additional 70 CS means that whatever items he's going to buy right now, he's doing so from a very big gold lead.
I think AP Jayce with Nashers would probably still win this game. You know, we've seen the Lizard Wizards back in the Moscow 5 days, and now we've got a mid lane siege. The Herald has used top lane, mid lane tier 2 under fire, and another AHQ ultimate burned for wave clear. This is how far behind they are.
And the danger about doing this means that because you have no control over the map, you're burning ultimates for wave clear. If they ever just disappear into Fog of War, start Baron, you're going to be fighting from an even larger deficit. You won't have the tools necessary to defend.
At least Chaos Storm is back. They've got one yet again. Explosive Cask is next, I'm sure, but IG, you can start to look at where the ward line's going to come in. They're going to set up for the Baron, most likely. TheShy currently split pushing in the bottom lane. He's got TP up, could join the team, no problem.
So one of the reasons this Baron's going to be incredibly difficult is because none of their tanks actually have any armor. You know, you look at the support position or the jungle position, it's going to be Spirit Visage rushed from Ning, as he felt like he was taking a little bit too much damage from primarily jungle mid duo, I guess. So this time around, they're going to have to hold on for a little bit longer. They will have to play patiently. You don't want to give the game back.
Oh, that could be a kill. Cask
Whoa.
Brings in Ning, but it's a bait! It's a bait for the Shockwave, and he flashes right back out. Thank you for the delivery.
And this will be the test we're going to have to put IG to kind of the whole day, is how well can they convert some of their laning advantages into team play, because it is things that they were able to do in securing a world championship last year. It's about taking that incredible laning skill and turning it into victory. So now that they've managed to kill the other jungler, how quickly do they transition into a Baron? They go right away.
Pretty much instantly here, it's Rookie's turn to try to build some space, try to slow him down with the dissonance, and no one's going to be in range at all. You can see the bind lands now as well, and not going to be the W, not going to be a likely steal. That's going to get claimed by Ning, and now over the wall is Rainbow, and that's going to be a pot of gold at the end for IG. AHQ forced to put away 3v5.
And pretty big desperation there from the rest of AHQ. If they were going to have Rainbow flash in, I would have liked to see the Kaisa follow as well, but just watch this one more time. I don't fault the Cask from Alex. This is a really good look to be able to get Ning into the turret. It just so happens Rookie responds amazingly to it. He eased to get the ball in faster, and then ults Alex right off of it. That's just a Rookie godlike play.
And I really think Rookie has some of the greatest shockwaves off weird things of all time. Cast your mind back to the shockwave off Cacal's Nocturne in the KTE versus Samsung final. One of the really great plays I think I've ever seen in League of Legends, and this has been a commanding performance so far from IG. This has been one of those games where they are just outperforming, outmuscling, and running over an opponent.
You wondered if IG was going to show up in the day. They certainly have.
Especially in game one, and that's going to be what all these teams have to do. We know coming into the day it's 2-1, 2-1, 2-1 between IG, Damwon, and TL, and AHQ is looking to play spoiler to any one of those teams. IG got first up, this is a good tune-up for the rest of the day for them.
And more than likely, you're going to have to beat the other 2-1 teams to guarantee first. But the easiest way to drop out of the race entirely is by losing to AHQ. This is the trap game. So the fact that IG are playing it a little bit more methodically, while still very aggressive, is a positive sign.
Well, bottom, mid, both broken open past the tier 2s now. Top inhib is still open, but they'd rather siege for the turrets themselves. Hook's not going to land. Black Shield is in time anyway. And Ysera, it's going to be almost the kill, but just can't quite nail it down. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, actually, a nice engage has happened, and TheShy is gone.
And that's poor play from IG. They're sieging on 2 angles, trying to fight both at once. They also lose both the battles. TheShy falling down, no flash available on JackeyLove, also no ultimate. This siege is pretty much done. The Baron's probably going to expire before the next push can come in. And I feel like they wasted a lot of time there.
Yeah, that's Baron power play kind of down the drain. They'll be able to take the Mountain Drake on the way out, but based on the death timer and the flash result as JackeyLove, as you mentioned, Spawn, we're in here for a little bit longer. This isn't the quick victory that you thought maybe IG would be able to close out.
It's an easy Drake picked up right there. Watch replay that kill.
And this was just Ziv and Wako being able to go for the kill. The slow lands, Wako lands a W, can just get straight in there. And yeah, TheShy thought he might be able to burst out, but dies, ends up being with flash up. Can't quite get anything done.
And we reset on the game. Baron power play, only 2,200. Maybe a bit lower than you might have hoped. With that kill coming over, makes it a little bit easier. You have to imagine TheShy had a pretty big bounty with all the farm he was getting in this game. Pretty well above almost everyone else in the opposing team. But the resets come through, and we'll see what can be done with the last 30 seconds of this Baron buff. 7,500 gold lead. IG have incredibly slim odds of losing this game.
However, if they are going to lose it, and it is slim odds, as you mentioned, Freak, it is the fact that they are running a tankless comp, and this is a pretty fed Kaisa. Kaisa's very good at being able to shred through carries as well. She has great mobility and is hard to deal with in team fights due to the stealth. So if Wako can get one of those fights, and this is what AHQ lent on heavily in their regular season, it is possible because he is still equal with the clock.
And you add that to the fact that Viktor can wave clear very well. Even with Baron up for the last little bit of that push, they cleared everything but the cannon fairly easily. And if Viktor ever does eventually get to the 15,000 gold build, he starts to just one-hit people with QE auto attack. But we're so far away from that point, it's a very slim chance, and IG is going to try and keep the pressure up before the next Baron, or if they can get a pick now, just win.
On 2, and Rainbow is gone already. The turret's next up. That should fall. A little bit of HP left. But next wave, you have to expect IG kills it too.
And once again, decisive play from IG. They read it as well. So instead of split pushing, they just group up. They're going to break the base in a second place and look to try and push in.
The one person that couldn't die for AHQ gets hit by the Dark Binding and immediately comboed by IG.
And now they go onto the bottom lane as well. They've got a Cannon in there to tank it up. Plenty of damage on towards Ziv. Cannon still alive. Ulti burned for, again, the wave clear, and just barely that stays alive. Ning, a bit by himself, does have ulti. No hard CC onto him, so he's going to finally walk away. And IG reset with 80 seconds till Baron, a large gold lead, and a broken base.
However, that is just going to be mid lane inhibitor. It's not the most important inhibitor on a Baron setup. You can generally push that out as 5, as a team, and still gain access to the vision. Let's see what AHQ go for, whether they do decide that they need to shove this wave as far as possible out, or whether they try and catch IG in their setup. I love at this stage when a team like G2 will just run as far into the enemy jungle as they can, look for the skirmish, because you can nearly guarantee, if the waves are prepped, that IG will win the game.
And I think, though, at this situation, since AHQ used Viktor and GP Ultimate in base, they can't make that play right now. It would be a nice idea, but it gives IG a little bit of time to properly set up this Baron.
Right, once again, pushing through the jungle, getting rid of these wards. Sweeper on for Ning, walks around, says, are there wolves? Are there wards? None of the above. Okay. Fog of War for AHQ. I don't know if they can give up a second Baron. I don't know if they have the choice, but it's already an 8,500 gold lead, and Baron probably seals the deal.
And Poke likely to come through from IG. Level 16 on rookie's Orianna. Also, gone for the Spellbinder again, so can get a bigger one-hit Shockwave if he procs that active at the right time. Might even just go for a flank.
Baron up in 8 seconds. They are pushing down the mid lane, ensuring that HQ gets to play farther and farther back. Ning's already there to siege, leading the charge. Cleared away by the barrels, but still here to push down the minions at the very least. Hook's not going to land. Ysera yet to awaken in this game, but Siege continuing.
And I guess IG says, why even bother with Baron when we have 2 exposed inhibs? Let's make sure we get both of them down, and that'll make the Baron even less likely to be contested. Or if they try and contest this inhib, IG thinks they could win a fight and just win the game off of that.
A little bit of poke towards Ning, but now it's time to back on up, and they can go through their army of control wards. TheShy waits around to poke a little bit. They're not the ones to kill the Baron as fast. Let JackeyLove do most of that work. AHQ push down the mid lane, kill what wards they see on the way. And they know to be afraid of Baron. Blue Trinket just burned right there. They see, okay, they are on it. Shockwave! Oh, and that is Alex gone. Baron still being taken by 2. IG guarantee there is not a play to be made. They clear the way. They take the Baron too.
And just a beautiful setup from the solo laners of IG. They know that as a 2-man unit, they are able to chunk someone out. They look for the pick in the jungle. They make sure it's an uncontested Baron. And this is getting very scary for other teams in the group because it looks like TheShy and Rookie especially are still continuing that week 1 form.
Yeah, to me, it's tricky to kind of put my finger on it because, yes, TheShy and Rookie are on that week 1 form, but Ning has had good moments and Ning moments where he would go too far or the sync wasn't quite there. It's hard to fault them in this game, 10,000 gold up, 31 minutes in, never really in danger of losing. It just tells me that this is still going to be a very exciting group.
And I think that that is something that is underrated in League of Legends. Playmaking, the ability to generate action. And I feel like IG as a team thrive in action. They accelerate the pace of the game. They pick up more gold. I mean, right now, TheShy is pretty much done with his item build. We're only 30 minutes into the game. And I feel like Leyan, whilst a stable jungler, wasn't necessarily the jungler that IG needs to win a world championship. They need some of this chaos that Ning brings to Summoner's Rift.
Low Rookie flashed to look for the shotgun, couldn't find that one there. Backs right out, still finds a 2-man though, and it's time for AHQ to run backwards. No, instead they go in. Wako tries to find the kill, 2 autos. They nearly knock the kill, but they blow in 1. That could be a pickoff. The feathers fly, JackeyLove stays alive, gets the shield, walks out, chases in, flashes after Rainbow, but the trade flash, it's actually Alex picking up 1, but we still have a bit of a siege. He's got nowhere to go. It's a trade, it's 4v4, and the siege is still going on. AHQ heals up inside the fountain, but IG look to knock down the turrets before the team can regroup. A bunch of poke comes down, not quite getting a kill into AHQ. That turret at a sliver of health, and 1 finally does go down, and they keep on pushing, looking to find that last little bit of damage. The gold lead's certainly large. They can hit him with the bags of gold. Wako pushed back yet again, and the siege keeps going. The minions, the 5th man, they knock down the 2nd turret. Another hook in, but Ning is going to stay alive. Ysera nearly falls, and that's the Nexus. That's IG picking up the win and eliminating AHQ.
IG takes care of business in their game against AHQ, moving to 3-1 at the start of the group. Ning gets his first game at Worlds, and they set their sights on the rest of the group.
And they did look a little bit more like IG. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing, but they did look a little bit more like IG. Heavy topside play, playing around TheShy, diving his lane multiple times, setting up for risky objective takes. This is reminiscent of the team that did win that last year's World Championship. Now, The question is, what's the ceiling this time around?
And I think you just don't know with IG. And we didn't know last year either with the way they made it through the run. We also didn't know at MSI when they went 9-1 in the group stage. So I think the fact that they came in with Ning and it wasn't a disaster is a good sign for IG. And that's all we know for now.
And to me, this game looked better than last week's games. And last week's games were enough to tie for first place. With a domination like this, with TheShy completely clapping Ziv, with Ning willing to trade his life for a kill so that the turret could be solo pushed some more. That's all part of that puzzle. That's all part of that IG championship mentality.
Now, the problem I have with IG is that was a pretty commanding victory. You know, they pushed in, they did play that solo style. I don't know whether this is a team that actually even carries momentum through games anymore. Like, you kind of just show up and you get a variant of what we know is just going to be an aggressive lineup. If the early game works, then it looks great.
I mean, after yesterday, is game-to-game momentum real? Right? You can have a bad game and immediately smash SKT the next one, so who knows?
That's true. It's going to be exciting. Either way, North America's last hope, Team Liquid, step onto the